Hey guys, as I said in my last video, 10 tips for new engineering students, time management is really crucial in engineering. So here's a list of 6 practical time management tips that actually work. The power hour. Let's start with what will probably be the most controversial tip. Personally, I believe in doing what's called a power hour as soon as I wake up. This is an uninterrupted hour of work where I tackle the largest task I have for the day. There are 2 main reasons for this. It helps me prevent procrastination by just getting started, and it helps me feel a sense of progress early on in the day, which sets me up for a more productive day. Use a calendar. This is an easy tip that everyone should follow. Personally, I like to use an app called Sunrise Calendar. It's cross-platform, so I can access my calendar on both my iPhone and my MacBook. Quick note, I'm not sponsored by Sunrise. I just really like their product. Here's an example of what my calendar looked like in university. As you can see, Sunrise allows me to color code important dates on my calendar, so at a quick glance I can obtain the information I need. Orange represents assignments for school. Red represents something that is really important, either a test, interview, or important life event. Teal represents social or relaxing events. Yellow is used for personal or life things that I want to get done, like getting a haircut. And purple is used for miscellaneous things. The idea of the calendar is to give us perspective on what our weeks and months look like so we can adequately plan our days. It doesn't really matter if your calendar system is digital, physical, simple, or complex. The only thing that matters is that you consistently use it. The Pomodoro Technique. One of the greatest tools I've discovered in my life for managing time is the Pomodoro Technique. This technique has been talked about a lot on YouTube and the internet, so I'm sure you can find another place to get a more in-depth look at it. But essentially, it is a method of tracking and delegating the time you spend on certain tasks in the day. For example, if I work for 25 minutes without interruption, this is 1 Pomodoro. This 25-minute block of work is then followed by a 5-minute break. After every 4th Pomodoro, I take a longer 30-minute break. The cycle just repeats on and on like this until I've completed 11 Pomodoros in one day, at which point I'm done working for the day and I use the rest of my day to relax. 11 is the daily number I have determined for myself that I can comfortably work without resulting in burnout. We can actually combine this technique with our calendar. For example, let's say you have 3 assignments due in the coming week. Assignment 1 is due on Tuesday, Assignment 2 is due on Thursday, Assignment 3 is due on Friday. Let's also assume you are completing 11 Pomodoros a day. Therefore, you may want to delegate 6 Pomodoros to Assignment 1, 3 to Assignment 2, and 2 towards Assignment 3. This will allow you to efficiently manage time towards the different tasks. Of course, delegating time isn't as simple as only considering due dates. The importance of the assignments and tasks is also worth considering. This brings us to our next tip, urgent versus important. A really important part of managing time is deciding where a task lies on the urgent versus important scale. This idea is adopted from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Essentially, you want to create a quick diagram like this. Every activity you do throughout the day can be placed in one of 4 quadrants above. The main goal is to stay in the top right quadrant, important but not urgent. This promotes proactive behavior so that you are always staying on top of things and minimally stressed. An example of something that would fall into the important and urgent category would be a serious deadline or something like a doctor's appointment. Things that would fall into the important but not urgent category would be project or assignments due at a later date or going to the gym. And then activities that fall in the not important but urgent category would be emails, phone calls, and texts. And then examples of not important and not urgent would be something like Netflix or playing video games. Try and avoid quadrant 4 at all costs. Not important and not urgent. You want to try to stay out of quadrant 3 as much as possible. By staying in quadrant 2, you will effectively reduce the amount of time you spend putting out fires, so to speak, that occur in quadrant 1. Now I know what you're thinking. No Netflix? I only put them in quadrant 4 because I believe they were not important or urgent relative to the other examples I used. However, relaxation is very important, and there are times when relaxing should be your top priority, and in that situation, Netflix might be in quadrant 1. This is simply a tool to prioritize the tasks and goals you have in your life, and it's up to you to decide what goes in each quadrant. Factor of safety. This tip is often overlooked by most people. When we are delegating our time for the day, we should always include a factor of safety to account for distractions and error in judgment. In a perfect world, I would be able to finish 11 Pomodoros in the day and seamlessly jump from task to task, but that's not how the world works. We aren't machines. We have relationships with other human beings, and it's necessary to make time for them and to factor them into our daily planning. As a general rule of thumb, plan to use 1 Pomodoro more than you think you need for an activity. Renewal. I hate the word work-life balance. It implies that work is something outside of your real life that you don't want to do. Rather, I believe in work-life integration, the idea that your work is a fundamental part of your identity. It is something you take pride in and enjoy doing every day. It doesn't feel like work. But even when you are doing something you love, it's good to take a break. For example, maybe you enjoy blogging. Writing every day is fun. But eventually, there will be a time when it will become stressful. Therefore, I think it's a good idea to take daily breaks from any sort of work. This is why I like the Pomodoro technique. It forces you to take regular breaks and to recharge. We live in a society that is so focused on getting things done and constantly being productive. We have forgotten how important relaxing is. Taking the time to recharge and renew your mind can help you easily solve problems you were previously struggling with. The reason I bring this up in a discussion about time management is because a fundamental part of managing time is also using that time effectively and efficiently. By giving yourself time to rest and recharge, you'll be able to work more effectively. Finally, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks guys, and see you next time.